Welcome back to Jeff Willett's Muscle Hub, home of my weekly Q&A show and all of my YouTube videos. We got more great questions to get into this week, so here we go. Question number 1. What are the best exercises for adding mass and the best exercises for adding definition? Well, they're really both the same because you can't really train for muscle definition, because all muscle definition is a product of having a certain amount of muscle development minus body fat. So it's the wrong approach, in my opinion, to try to train for muscle definition because we can't spot reduce fat. So the best exercises for mass are also the best ones for muscle definition, because building more muscle is going to allow you to have more definition when you lose the body fat. So to get the definition is more about your cardio and your diet. So train with those basic lifts are going to be best for ultimately developing your physique. Question 2. Why do your nutrition plans contain so many meal replacements? If you followed me over the years and even way back to my AST Sports Science training journals, you know that I use a lot of meal replacements in my diet plans. In fact, myself, I got probably roughly 90% of my daily protein was coming from supplement sources and a lot of meal replacements. And my clients, I really prescribe the same thing. There are 3 main reasons I do that, and convenience is only one of them and not the primary one. The primary one is nutrient density. A good quality meal replacement allows you to get a lot of protein and good nutrients per very controlled amount of calories. So typically for about 250 or 300 calories, you can get 40 grams of protein and very balanced nutrition. So nutrient density is the primary factor. Second factor is the measurability. You can be absolutely exact knowing what you're dealing with. So as you're getting ready for a contest or trying to get leaner and you're skimming down, it's very, very easy to measure. And then the other one, which is important, is also convenience. So when you're eating multiple meals a day, and also depending upon your job, sometimes it's difficult. You can't always sit down and break out the old chicken and broccoli. So a meal replacement allows you to have complete balanced nutrition in an instant. So those are really the three main reasons why I use a lot of meal replacements. And a funny little sidebar here is, if you used to follow my AST Sports Science training journals, you'd see that my diet listed daily. In fact, you can even see it in my Lost Logs ebook now, the complete file of what I followed. People sometimes question it, would say, man, there's no way that he's lying, he's using all those meal replacements, that's just advertising ploy. Well, I'm telling you, it is the God's truth. That's exactly what I did. And again, you can see my Lost Logs ebook and follow it exactly. Number 3, can you touch on the amount of dedication that's needed to achieve great results? This person says they've lost a lot of training partners over the years because people think it's going to be easy and then they fall off. Well, as I've mentioned many times, building appreciable amounts of muscle takes time. It takes a lot of work, and you have to do things right around the clock, again, for an extended period of time. So it really requires a lifestyle change. So you're not just going to go into the gym and do your workout and not pay much attention to your outside life and expect to get great results. It's just not going to happen. So to have an extreme physique, it requires an extreme lifestyle. So before embarking on the journey, you want to make sure you're following a really smart plan, and then you want to make sure you understand it's going to be a lifestyle change, and to get appreciable results, you're going to need an investment of many, many months to really make those dramatic differences. Question number 4, have you ever been injured? If so, how did you work around it? Over the years I've had, regular nagging, aches and pains, probably like anybody, and I've been pretty lucky to avoid anything major, but I have had 2 things that come to mind in my career. One was more of a longer nagging one, which was something, I had an AC joint issue on my right side, and this was somewhere around the year 2000, and I couldn't do any flat work. Any type of flat benching just killed it. So I actually avoid all flat pressing for many, many months. And then over time, I stuck with all incline movements because, again, we don't want to ignore the pain and avoid it and push through it. We want to listen to the pain and work around it and select exercises that don't cause pain. So in that case, for many months, I did only incline work until eventually I could get back to flat and doing it pain-free. The other one was more of an error on my part, where it was a deadlifting incident, regular deadlifts off the ground, and for whatever reason, I was still sore on my left side and sore in my lat area, but I tried to push through anyway, and that was a big mistake. And I think I partially tore something, and enough to where, I heard the audible, I felt it, I knew it was bad, but it didn't really cause too much discoloration or disfigurement, so that was the good news. So I iced it, and I had to be very, very careful. And then again, the recipe was avoiding anything that caused pain to the area, so I worked around as best I could with in fact, avoided back training for a while, and then slowly work back into it when you can do it pain-free. So that's really the take-home message here. If you do get hurt, you want to make sure that you don't ignore the pain, you want to work around the movement and select exercises that don't cause aggravation. And then second to that is you want to make sure you ice area after activity to bring down inflammation. And if something's real serious, it is always smart to get a medical professional to give you their input. Number 5, can you share some of your bicep training tips? I would love to share some bicep training tips. You want to make sure you keep it, you don't overcomplicate it. And the bicep is the smaller muscle group that does not need a lot of work because it's getting work on back and other training throughout the week. So I really think you only need 4 or 5 total sets for the bicep. And I think, again, you want to stick with basic lifts. If you think about it, the bicep's job is it goes from point A to point B. And all it does is it flexes your arm and it decreases the angle of this joint. So from point A to point B, we want to place the best load on it we can. So the way to place the best load on the bicep is a straight barbell curl. Nothing beats that. Barbell curl and dumbbell curls, I think, are the best. When you start doing all these angled movements, at the end of the day, whether you're curling here, behind your back, over your head, upside down, it's still A to B. And we want to put resistance on the bicep the best way possible from point A to point B. So for my money, nothing beats barbell curls. Well, that's this week's questions. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's go out and execute.